If you are speaking, it is so important to understand the expectation of the audience. Why we get angry in life? There's only one reason why we get angry in life, because when there is a difference between expectation and the reality. Bigger the difference, bigger the anger. I remember I really made someone very angry in one of my talk. Now, what happened? It was a talk for professionals, and I got a call from organizer. The guy was coordinating with me, and he said, "I want you to come." He said, "I want you to come and speak for 1 hour on digital marketing." And there's a medical fraternity. There were doctors sitting there. I said, okay, why not? And I tried to understand what exactly they want me to deliver. And I said, after understanding, I said, see, there are two ways we can take this further. Number one, I can speak for 1 hour that why we should use digital marketing. Right? Because doctors can use digital marketing, and doctors are using digital marketing to improve their practice, to take their practice to the next level. I have seen so many doctors are doing this very cleverly. So I said the one is why we should use digital marketing, where I can use some case studies, some share stories, and inspire them. Because if they are inspired, if they are thirsty, they will go and they will find knowledge. They will find someone who can help them to improve their, help them to use digital marketing for their practice. Or the second is, I can speak what we can use in digital marketing. That will be a little technical session where I can tell them how to use Facebook, how to use YouTube, how to use your blog. That will be a little technical. That is not inspirational, it's educational session. Now I said, you take a decision. I'm okay with anything. If you are giving me 1 hour, because I understand if you are giving me 1 hour, there will be Q&A. So I will get around 40-45 minutes, not more than that. If I consider Q&A for 15 minutes, so 45 minutes I can cover only one. It is unfair to cover both, then it's better to cover one complete rather than covering half each. And he agreed to this. He said, okay, let me think and come back to you. And then he came back to me. He said, we decided that why we should use digital marketing, that should be your topic. I said, okay. I was happy, because as a storyteller, that's the best thing I love to do. I go on the stage and share some stories, because we learn from stories. We get inspired from stories. And I delivered that talk. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, the president of that community was not aware about the discussion which we had, a long discussion which I had with the person who was organizing everything. And the president was very old, maybe in 60s plus, and he was under the impression that I'm going to deliver a talk on what kind of technologies. And then they had 3 speakers that day. One spoke on personality development, and one spoke on something else. And I was supposed to speak on, according to me, why, according to him, what. And I have no idea whether the organizer with whom I had discussion, whether he has given message to others or not, because he was the guy who was actually setting the tone for the audience. He was the guy who was coming and telling that, okay, let's welcome next speaker who is going to speak on XYZ. And he did that even before I visited that place. My talk was third last. And just towards the start of the presentation only, he explained everything, that what these 3 speakers are going to do and what the audience should expect from these 3 speakers. And I spoke. And I thought I spoke very well, because I got good response from the audience. In stories, we always connect, right? When we share stories, we always connect. That people like you, people love you. We always have that hormonal increase, the dopamine, cortisol, and oxytocin. So people start liking you when you share good stories, relevant stories for them. And I completed my talk. I sat down, and he came for a vote of thanks. And he said something like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we had 3 speakers. I must say that initial first 2 speakers, they really did a good justice with the topic. But I would like to say that the 3rd speaker, I have no idea what he was speaking. Okay, let's see next time. And I was like this. So no matter who you are, you feel embarrassed when someone is speaking in front of 50, 60 people like this. And I was actually looking down and I was thinking that, hey, where I have gone wrong is like I had a good discussion with them before, only that what I am supposed to deliver today, and I tried my best to do that. And I could not say anything because that's not the right forum to challenge. I said, okay, so I will try my best next time. I said something like this. And then the meeting over, and as usual, like most of in this kind of meetings, we always have a little dinner and liquor, and people started coming to me, and I could see that sympathy, empathy in their eyes, because they could see that I was like very nervous, down, still thinking that why someone did this with me in front of so many people. I was still thinking, and one very senior doctor came to me, and she said something like this, which is worth sharing with you. And she said, hey Praveen. I said, yes ma'am, tell me. And I could see that sympathy, empathy in her eyes. She said, you are a storyteller, right? Can I share a story with you today? I said, yes, please ma'am, please do that. And she said, this is not a real life story, the kind of stories you share, but I have read this story somewhere and I must share this with you. I said, okay ma'am, tell me. She said, there was a guy who used to sell perfumes, very high quality perfumes. And one day he decided to go to one village to sell perfumes. And he started showing that perfume to villagers. And villagers said, yes, this perfume is good, but we can't buy it, because to buy anything in this village, first we have to take the permission of the head, the sarpanch of the village, the head of the village. Go, show this perfume to the sarpanch, the head of the village. If he agrees, then you can sell. He said, okay, that sounds okay. And then he decides to go to the home of sarpanch, and he says to sarpanch, sir, I have this perfume which is a very high quality perfume, and as told by villagers that I cannot sell this without your permission. I want to show this perfume to you, and I want to have your permission so I can sell this to the villagers. And the sarpanch said, okay, let me try first. Without trying, I cannot approve. He said, yes. And this guy, perfume guy, said, okay sir, show your hand. And he just did his hand like this, the sarpanch. And as usual, the perfume guy, he sprayed to spray on his hand, and sarpanch did something like this. And he said, hey, this is bitter. This is Premodalka signing out until we meet again with a new story.